Mrs. St. Nick, a Christmas romantic comedy. Written by Caroline Mickelson. Narrated by Carly Robbins. Chapter 1. I can save Christmas this year, Mr. Claus. Efficiency expert Holly Jameson pulled a resume from her briefcase and reached across the massive oak desk to place it in front of Santa. She sat back, folded her hands in her lap, and tried not to look as anxious as she felt. She wanted this job. Correction. She desperately wanted this job. Save may be a bit of an overstatement, Miss Jameson. Santa smiled genially, kindness evident in his blue eyes. With my daughter Carol away for the holidays, I could really use an efficient, level-headed right hand during this last week before the big day. As you can clearly see, Mr. Claus, I have extensive experience with hectic pre-holiday schedules and... Santa raised a white-gloved hand. Yes, Miss Jameson, I can see that you spent close to 5 years working as Mr. Sandman's chief assistant. He peered over his gold, wire-rimmed glasses at her. Although I'm not quite certain that we can compare the frantic energy of the North Pole the week before Christmas to nightly bedtime, can we? Holly met his gaze straight on. She couldn't quite read his expression, but she could hear the doubt in his voice. She took a deep breath and launched into her well-rehearsed sales pitch. Oh, you'd be surprised, Mr. Claus. At Nighty Night Central, we deal with the same number of children that you do. Actually, even more, because not every child celebrates Christmas. Santa's eyebrows rose. Holly's heart sank. Perhaps she could have left that last bit unsaid. We saw massive spikes in the number of restless children before every holiday, especially Christmas. Also, consider the impact of birthdays, which occur every single day of the year. Nothing, short of Christmas, of course, she hastened to add, keeps a child awake like having a birthday the next day. Santa nodded thoughtfully. You have a valid point there. He glanced over her resume again before tossing it on his desk. He sat back in his chair and eyed her thoughtfully. Without Carol here, I need someone who can jump right into the madness. Your references are impeccable, Miss Jameson, and your prior job performance is impressive. But what I really need to know isn't about numbers or systems. But how do you feel about Christmas? There it was, the question Holly had been dreading. How do I feel about Christmas? She repeated, as if she hadn't practiced answering the question a dozen times already. Well, I think Christmas is simply splendid, a lovely time of the year. Once the words were out of her mouth, Holly resisted the urge to slap herself on the forehead. What a boneheaded answer. Simply splendid. A lovely time of the year. Ugh. Judging by his expression, Santa didn't appear especially enamored of her answer either. He took off his glasses and massaged the bridge of his nose. Miss Jameson, might I remind you that I have the ability to tell when someone is being nice and when they are being naughty. This also gives me the opportunity to discern the truth from a fib. Shall we call it? Santa sat back in his chair and folded his hands over his belly. A heavy silence descended. Holly's mind raced for the right words to string together that might get her off the hook, but none came. Fine. The truth it would have to be. I feel that Christmas is necessary. Necessary? Santa echoed. She nodded. Yes, necessary. I think the word sums it up perfectly. It's how my mother felt about the holidays. Santa waved a gloved hand, indicating she should continue speaking. Tell me more. My mother raised me by herself.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?